Most people think their morning routine starts the moment they get out of bed. Big mistake. If you wait until your feet hit the floor, you have already lost the battle. My day doesn't start when I open my eyes. It starts in those 2 dark, silent minutes before I get up. I call this the magic 2 minutes. And if you can master these 2 minutes, you won't just wake up, you will launch into your day like a rocket. But if you ignore them, well, the rest of your day is just damage control. I know what you are thinking. Atlas, come on. It's just 2 minutes. How important can it be? Let me ask you a question. Be honest with me. When your alarm went off this morning, what was your very first feeling? Was it excitement? Was it energy? Or was it? No. Please. 5 more minutes. Did you hit the snooze button? Visual, B-roll footage of someone struggling to wake up, hitting the snooze button repeatedly, looking tired. Atlas, I know that feeling. I lived in that feeling for years. I call it zombie mode. You know what I mean, right? The alarm rings. You wake up, but your brain is still asleep. You walk to the bathroom, but you don't remember walking. You press the button on the coffee machine, but you feel like you are walking through thick mud. You are physically awake, but mentally, you are still dreaming. Living in zombie mode is like starting a race with heavy stones tied to your feet. You can run, but it is so much harder than it needs to be. Last year, I hit a breaking point. I was constantly tired. I was drinking 3, maybe 4 cups of coffee just to feel normal. I tried everything. I tried cold showers. I tried meditation. I tried going to bed earlier. Nothing worked. I was still struggling. And then, I realized something. The problem wasn't the coffee. The problem wasn't the hours of sleep. The problem was the bridge. There is a bridge between the world of sleep and the world of wakefulness. And every morning, I was burning that bridge instead of crossing it. So, I developed a protocol. A simple, 2-minute routine that I do while I am still under the blanket. No phone. No coffee. Just me and my brain. And once I started doing this, everything changed. The fog disappeared. The energy came back. Do you want to know what I do in those 2 minutes? I am going to tell you. But first, we used some very important words just now. To truly understand this story, we need to understand these words. Let's take a quick look with our word guide. Vocabulary break 1. Word guide. Hello everyone. Let's break down 3 key words Atlas just used. 1. Snooze, verb/noun. Definition: to delay an alarm for a short time, usually 5 to 10 minutes, so you can sleep a little longer. Example: don't hit the snooze button, or you will be late for work. 2. Struggle, verb. Definition: to try very hard to do something when it is difficult or painful. Example: I struggle to get out of bed in the winter because it is so cold. 3. Breaking point, noun phrase. Definition: the moment when a situation becomes too difficult to handle, and you must make a change. Example: after weeks of stress, she finally reached her breaking point and took a vacation. Now, let's go back to Atlas to find out what happens in those magic 2 minutes, thanks. Okay, so let's go back to the bedroom. Ideally, your alarm clock should be far away from your bed, so you have to move to turn it off. But let's be realistic, most of us use our phones, and the phone is right next to the pillow. The alarm rings. I turn it off. Now, here is the critical moment. This is where 99% of people fail. What do you do next? You pick up the phone, right? You open Instagram. You check WhatsApp. You read the news. Stop. This is the worst thing you can do. When you look at your phone immediately, you put your brain into reactive mode. You are reacting to other people's lives. You are reacting to bad news. You are reacting to messages. You are giving the control of your morning to the world, instead of keeping it for yourself. So, step 1 of the magic 2 minutes, eyes open, phone down. I lie there in the dark. I don't move. I stay under the warm blanket. And then, I do a mental scan. It sounds fancy, but it is actually very simple. While my brain is still waking up, I ask myself one question. What is the one thing I am excited about today? Now, I know what you are thinking. But Atlas, some days are boring. Some days I have nothing to be excited about. Some days I just have work, chores, and traffic. I get it. Life isn't always an adventure. But here is the trick. If I can't find something exciting, I create excitement. I reframe a boring task. For example, last Tuesday, I had to go to the dentist. Nobody likes the dentist. I hate it. I could have woken up thinking, oh no, I have to go to the dentist today. This is going to be terrible. If I thought that, I would have stayed in bed. Instead, in those quiet 2 minutes, I told myself, today, I am finally fixing that toothache. By tonight, I will be able to eat my favorite food without pain. That is exciting. I focused on the reward, not the pain. And just like that, my brain released a little bit of dopamine. I wasn't dreading the day, I was looking forward to the result. That is the mental part. That takes about 60 seconds. But then comes the physical part. And this is the secret weapon. Because even if your mind is positive, your body is still asleep. Your muscles are cold. Your heart rate is slow. You need a spark. So, I do a move called the dead bug. Yes, it has a funny name. But it works like magic. While I am still lying on my back, under the covers, I lift my arms and legs into the air. And for exactly 10 seconds, I shake them. I shake my hands and feet as fast as I can. It looks ridiculous. If anyone saw me, they would think I was crazy. But here is the science. When you do this, you force blood to rush to your extremities. Your heart rate spikes. You send a loud signal to your nervous system, we are moving. We are awake. It is like jump-starting a car. After 10 seconds of the dead bug, throwing off the heavy blanket feels easy. The cold air doesn't bother you. You are already warm. You are already active. So, step 1, mental scan, no phone. Step 2, the dead bug, physical spark. And just like that, I am out of bed. No snooze button. No suffering. But wait. We are not done. I am up, but now I have to go to the kitchen. And this is where most people make their second big mistake. They go straight for the coffee. I love coffee. I really do. But drinking coffee in the first hour of waking up is actually a betrayal to your body. Yes, I said betrayal. Because of a hormone called cortisol. Before I explain why your morning coffee might be making you more tired, let's pause. We used some strong words like reactive, reframe, and betrayal. Let's make sure we master these words before we get to the kitchen strategy. Word guide, welcome back. Let's look at 3 more powerful words from Atlas's story. 1. Reactive, adjective. Definition: acting in response to a situation rather than creating or controlling it. Example: if you check your email immediately, you are being reactive instead of productive. 2. Reframe, verb. Definition: to change the way you look at a situation, to see it in a different, more positive way. Example: he reframed the difficult problem as an exciting challenge. 3. Betrayal, noun. Definition: the act of breaking someone's trust, hurting someone who trusts you. Atlas used it metaphorically for hurting your body. Example: telling my secret to everyone was a betrayal of our friendship. Now, why is coffee a betrayal? Let's find out. Okay, let's talk about the betrayal. I know you love the smell of coffee in the morning. I do too. For years, I would stumble into the kitchen, eyes half open, and immediately brew a strong pot of coffee. I thought I needed it to wake up. But science tells us a different story. When you wake up, your body naturally produces a hormone called cortisol. Now, we often think of cortisol as the stress hormone, and that sounds bad. But in the morning, cortisol is your friend. It is nature's alarm clock. It increases your blood sugar and blood pressure just enough to make you feel alert and ready to move. Your cortisol levels naturally peak, meaning they reach their highest point about 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up. So, imagine this, your body is already giving you natural energy. It is doing its job. And then, boom. You pour caffeine on top of it. When you drink coffee during this cortisol peak, two bad things happen. First, you interfere with your body's natural rhythm. You teach your body to produce less cortisol because it expects the caffeine to do the work. You become dependent. Second, and this is the scary part, you are setting yourself up for the afternoon crash. Have you ever felt completely exhausted around 2 p.m.? You want to put your head on your desk and sleep? That happens because of the morning coffee. Here is the simple rule I follow now, the 90-minute rule. I do not touch caffeine for the first 90 minutes of my day. I let my body wake up naturally. I let the cortisol do its job. And then, at 9:30 or 10 a.m., I have my coffee. And let me tell you, it tastes so much better when you actually need it. So, if I don't drink coffee, what do I drink? Because, remember, we haven't consumed anything for 8 hours. We are dehydrated. Our brain has shrunk slightly. Yes, your brain literally shrinks when it is dehydrated, and that causes brain fog and headaches. I drink what I call the ocean elixir. It sounds magical, but again, it is very simple. It is a large glass of room temperature water with a pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon. Why salt? Because water alone isn't enough. Your nervous system runs on electricity, and to conduct electricity, you need electrolytes. Salt provides that. The moment I drink this, I can feel my brain turning on. It is like watering a plant that has been in the sun too long. The leaves go from brown and dry to green and strong. So, to recap the physical routine. The dead bug, movement. The ocean elixir, hydration. Wait 90 minutes for coffee, hormonal balance. By this time, I am fully awake. My body is humming with energy. And I haven't even looked at my email yet. But now comes the hardest part. The work. And this brings us to the psychological concept that saved my career, eat the frog. Before I explain what frogs have to do with productivity, let's pause. We covered some biology and strategy here. Let's make sure we understand the key terms. Vocabulary break 3. Word guide, you are doing great. Let's clarify 3 important concepts Atlas just explained. 1. Peak, verb/noun. Definition, to reach the highest point or level. Example, traffic usually peaks at 8 a.m. when everyone goes to work. 2. Interfere, verb. Definition, to stop or slow down a process, to get in the way. Example, please turn off your phone so it does not interfere with your studying. 3. Dehydrated, adjective. Definition, the state of not having enough water in your body. Example, if you feel thirsty, you are already slightly dehydrated. Now, back to Atlas. Why does he want us to eat a frog? Eat the frog. No, I don't eat actual frogs for breakfast. That would be disgusting. This is a famous concept from Mark Twain. He said, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. The frog is your hardest, most important, and most uncomfortable task. It is the task you are dreading. The task you are procrastinating on. The big report, the difficult phone call, the chapter of the book you are writing. In my zombie mode days, I did the opposite. I would sit at my desk and do the easy things first. I would answer emails. I would organize my desktop files. I would scroll through LinkedIn. I told myself, I am just warming up. But I wasn't warming up. I was wasting my best energy. You see, willpower is like a battery. It is full in the morning, but it drains throughout the day. Every decision you make, what to wear, what to eat, what email to reply to, uses up a little bit of that battery. By 2 p.m., your battery is empty. And that is when you try to do the big task. But you can't. You are too tired. So you push it to tomorrow. And the cycle repeats. Now, my routine is different. I sit down. My phone is still in another room. I have my water. I have my clarity. And I identify my frog. What is the one thing that, if I finish it today, will make me feel proud? Just one thing. For me, usually, it is writing scripts for you guys. Writing is hard. It requires focus. It is my frog. So, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., I do nothing else. I don't check the news. I don't talk to anyone. I just eat the frog. And here is the magic result. By 10 a.m., I have finished my most important work. The rest of the day feels easy. It feels light. Even if I do nothing else for the rest of the day, I have already won. This feeling of accomplishment gives me a massive boost of confidence. Compare that to the old Atlas. Old Atlas checked emails for 2 hours, felt busy, but achieved nothing. He ended the day feeling guilty. New Atlas works hard for 2 hours, finishes the big task, and ends the day feeling like a champion. It is not about working more hours. It is about working with your biology, not against it. But, of course, life isn't perfect. Sometimes, chaos happens. Sometimes, you have a bad night of sleep. Sometimes, the kids wake up screaming. So, what do you do when the routine fails? I have a backup plan. I call it the reset button. But before I share my emergency protocol, let's look at the vocabulary of productivity. Vocabulary Break 4. Word Guide. Let's focus on productivity words. These are essential for work and study. 1. Dread, verb. Definition: to be very afraid or worried about something that is going to happen. Example: I dread public speaking because I get very nervous. 2. Procrastinate, verb. Definition: to delay doing something that you should do, usually because you don't want to do it. Example: I always procrastinate on my homework until the night before it is due. 3. Willpower, noun. Definition: the ability to control your own thoughts and the way in which you behave. Example: it takes a lot of willpower to say no to chocolate cake. 4. Accomplishment, noun. Definition: something that has been achieved successfully. Example: finishing the marathon was a huge accomplishment for him. Back to Atlas for the final part of our routine. We have covered the morning. We have covered the deep work. But I want to end this story with a reality check. You can have the perfect plan, but you cannot control everything. Last week, my neighbor decided to start drilling into the wall at 7 a.m. My silent morning was ruined. I felt the anger rising. I wanted to scream. The old me would have let this ruin the entire day. I would have said, well, the routine is broken. Today is a bad day. But perfection is a trap. Consistency is not about being perfect. Consistency is about resilience. Resilience means, how fast can you get back on track after you fall off? When the drilling started, I used my reset button. It is a 5-minute breathing technique. I put on my noise-canceling headphones. I closed my eyes. And I accepted the noise. I told myself, this is a challenge. Can I focus even with this noise? And surprisingly, I wrote 500 words that morning. It wasn't my best morning, but it wasn't a wasted morning. So, my friends, here is my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, try just one piece of this routine. You don't have to do everything. Maybe just try the magic 2 minutes. Don't check your phone. Ask yourself what you are excited about. Do the dead bug shake. See how you feel. And if you do it, please, come back to this video and tell me in the comments. Right, I tried the dead bug. I want to know I am not the only crazy person shaking my arms in bed. Changing your life doesn't happen with one big explosion. It happens in the quiet moments that nobody sees. It happens in those first 2 minutes of the day. Thank you for letting me share my morning with you. If you found this story helpful, you know what to do. Subscribe to join our community. We are building a life of confidence and fluency, one habit at a time. I am Atlas. This is the English Leap podcast. Sleep well tonight and wake up strong tomorrow. See you in the next episode.